Hey everybody, this is Monkey Business. This is part 2 of the Bittersweet changes update. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So in this one, we're going to be talking about the new class selections and just the rebalances that they did with them, and a little more of a deep dive of Pierce, because I know some of you don't know what's going on and some of you may feel weak, but I got the information and I'm gonna try to help you guys out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I almost forgot to mention that Discord will be in the description below. It will be just for my Discord for now. It's done. I got channels open, I got permissions set. It is new, so it won't be that much in. It will be you guys and my guild, so please join. We are having good conversations, and usually any data or screenshots I post here, I can post on there even at a request. Thank you. Join the Discord, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye. Alright guys, welcome to a deep dive of Pierce and how it affects the game. One thing I do want to make as a disclaimer is that I do not have all the answers. I do not have everything because it's still a new update. But as I test, then I want to try and help you guys understand what I tested and how it worked for me. And you know, Flare Up always had a good opinion. I followed some of his notes as well, and he even still assisted me to better inform myself. Now just to start, I'm going to show you an example of a farming hero that I use. He don't have high Pierce at all. He got low Pierce, but since he do got low Pierce, the damage that he hit with his attack will still 70% of it will still be blocked by his defense. Therefore, I want to build him extremely high attack, so even if it's only 30%, a good amount will still get through. Now how I'm building him is straight attack. I am going to fix his crit chance after I upgrade his accessories. I'm going to also I have an idea of how I can increase his critical damage while trying to keep most of my damage without losing too much. I'm trying to balance him out because I realized with the new trend, if you have a low Pierce hero, they normally will have higher attack. Therefore, if you build a lot of attack sets and an attack rush set, it's kind of good for the first 2 rounds. If you don't know what the attack set is, that gives you 15% per 2 piece. Now for the attack rush set, per 2 piece you get a 20% attack boost for 2 turns, and that's for every round. So that's really good for anybody that need a fodder hero to go around and just hunt around. So that's good for that. But what about the high Pierce heroes? What are their advantages? Now this one is still a confusing thing, so it's still being tested, but let me tell you what I got so far on it. Let me show my Rhonda. For example, Rhonda got lower attack average than most people with low Pierce, which is common for right now. So therefore, I did not exactly fix her item since the update, and she's not a 6-star. But with the 6-star, I can still put either a lot of attack or I believe crit damage. I might go for attack, but I do plan to change some of her items around and try to get mostly crit just from sub stats. It's a very risky move, but that's what I'm going to try to do. So that's what I'm really doing. That's why I'm really doing a lot of gold farming right now, because I want to really increase her attack, because if I can increase her attack while simultaneously increasing her crit damage, then I can really get a lot of that damage through. The only damage that's gonna block anything is the block damage at the end of the day if it do go through. So that's good. Now crit damage can still be blocked by defense, so I'm gonna go a little more in depth. Well, it's not really an in-depth type situation. Just I'm gonna say a little bit in the next slide. But that is how the high crit and a low crit work. Now that's not for every single body. You may have a high Pierce hero. For example, let me show you mine. One person I'm building up right now is Katana. Now why am I going to build this person up to have more attack and not more crit? Let me tell you why. We all know Pierce, it does the most minimum damage dealt according to your main attack, right? So if you go to his skills, most of his skills does either double attack or triple attack. Therefore, you're guaranteed to get 80% of your maximum attack twice. That's a lot of damage. For example, if I can't right here, deals 3 hits for 2,513 damage. If I can get that higher, because that's only 2.992 damage. Therefore, his ratio to his skills is very low, not very low, it's like 80%, I give or take. It's just like with Aquila, his one is a little bit more higher because he's a low Pierce hero, but Katana is in between since he's an 80 Pierce hero. So with him, I can probably build his attack up to about 6 or 7, maybe even 8,000 if I'm very lucky, after I get done with all the upgrades and get his accessories. And if so, that will be done twice and only 80% will go through. So even if you got about 2,000 block damage, the first hit is going to break that and the second one is going to break that as well. So you're guaranteeing damage. Not only that, but building this on him, he can slow and he can pin down so you're not going nowhere. And if he do have a critical hit that occurs, he can do another slow. I think there's a skill, yeah, shout out block rate. So you got block rate, that's just going down. So just know, if you want to block, you will use block damage to proc to defend yourself. It only works if you have block rate to activate. So if you got shut up block rate, which is decreasing by 85%, I thought it was 75, that means he is guaranteeing to go past your defense and he's not going to even be bothered by your block damage. Therefore, he gets seamless damage just straight to you. You're dying in one hit if you don't have over 15k HP, you know, or maybe 12 after the damage be mitigated by defense. But give or take, it's a 20% you would take off the top due to defense negating that. So that's a lot of damage. Now for the next part, I said a little bit on it, but I'm still a little bit more. Is a crit and defense interaction. Crit damage can be blocked by defense and block damage, while pierce can only be blocked by block damage. Example, 100% pierce with a 4500 attack with 1000 crit damage. Attack bypasses defense, but crit damage can be blocked. When I say attack, I mean attack not because of the pierce. So the percent of pierce can go past. Now after defense, the pierce will attack and the crit damage will hit the block damage after defense is already put down. Now defense can also block crit damage, so that's another thing you gotta think about. The remaining damage after the effects of buff or whatnot, defense or heals or whatever, then that will go through the hero. So you have to be very careful how you're building these characters according to their pierce and according to the enemy. Now me personally, for Katana, I'm going to use him or her into a arena, so he can help me try and close the gap of the update. When I mean gap is I feel weaker, so I'm trying to fix that. Now heroes with 100% crit usually have a lower attack, like I said, so building the crit and C damage builds or higher is way better. So just try to be careful. So just a little quick recap. Pierce can bypass defense to a percent. High defense block crit damage even with pierce. Low pierce and high attack builds are blocked by both defense and B damage. So just a little understanding of that. What I mean by low pierce and high attack builds, as in, since you have low pierce, defense will block 70% of that damage if the enemy have that high enough. So just be careful how you're building with pierce. This will be a long section, but I think it's worth it. You know, so pierce can go through defense but not block damage. Crit cannot go through defense or block damage, but a high piercing person may be better with the high crit. We are still doing testing on it, and there's still balances that will be coming out soon. So it's a new thing that we're trying to get used to. But thank you. That'll be it for this part 2 of the video. My next few videos, I do plan to do hero builds and just stuff along those lines, arena builds, attack build, defense, campaign. I'm glad this balance update come out so I can really see what I can do now. Thank you all, and again, join the Discord. It will be in the description. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Alright guys, now in this section we're going to talk about the different classes, the types, the pierce, and what they do now. So we're going to start with the warrior, which is going to be Slaughterhawk. I already made a whole group for them because I cannot remember all of them by hand. Now one thing about warriors, they will all have 20% pierce, and their description is balanced heroes with strong attacks. So I'm going to assume they're well balanced HP, defense, movement, targeting, but mainly got strong attack. Have that in mind. The next one will be a Slayer, which I have here is Gore Grip. A Slayer is somebody that have a powerful attacks, but I sacrifice a whole lot of defense. So as you can see, he got very low defense but still got high attack with no gear on. So I want to try and showcase these with no gear on so you can see the difference, but some of them I do apologize. But for certain names you see will be obvious. So for any Slayer you have, they will always have a 30% pierce. The next one are hunters, which is my Shadowlands here. Shadowlands here, high piercing heroes that can damage any defensive heroes. Basically, they're gonna hit you with the hardest hit that you can and definitely pierce through your defense. So I think that's good for having that class there, not bad at all. For the next one will be Thief. I don't have a Thief. I do I don't want to investigate, but I know one is right here. Versatile heroes with special abilities and good movement range. I'm going to assume that's like the movement range, but I mean, I don't know. It's only 2 or 3 thieves. They could have left that one out, but they probably just wanted to fill up 15 classes. That's just my assumption. Now those 4, warrior, slayer, hunter, thief, are all the melee I'm gonna call them subclasses for right now. Now I'm gonna move on to the range and the rangers. We have the marksmen, which is a Aquila, which range hero that deals significant damage from a distance. They will all have a 30% pierce chance. Next is sorcerer, which I have Adoris. They will always have a 40% pierce chance. Magic heroes that can attack multiple foes at once. Now, what do I mean by that? The AoE. So for witch, Adoris, just a big AoE is how they be usually doing. Now you have sharpshooters. Sharpshooters are I believe are the only ones with 100% pierce, and their descriptions are highly trained range heroes with perfect pierce ratio. So therefore, if you hit somebody, you are guaranteed to do this much damage after defense and everything. So whatever the defense come out to and whatnot is what you will do. Now for the next one below this one will be the duelist, which I have Gus. I don't use him, but I have Gus. He got 20% pierce, and they are efficient in both melee and ranged attacks, which isn't bad at all. Now those are our rangers, and that's about it for them. Our next one will be our tanks. The first one is a protector, which I showed you him earlier, which is Red Hook. They have an incredible amount of high defense. They can absorb a lot of damage. Their piercing is only capped at 10%. Most of the tanks do not have good pierce at all. The highest is 10%. The next one is a crusader, which is a monk with the lowest pierce, which is 1%. And it's a given. They are strong in both defense and in attack. Basically, they are the overall person you want your team between an attacker, tank, and whatnot, just so that you can still try and go through. That's why they're called crusaders, I guess. But they are strong in both defense and attack with a 1% pierce, meaning that after block and everything is applied, the minimum they will do is 1% of their damage. Now for the next one is a enforcer, which is Tamir. And an enforcer is somebody that is in between a defense hero that delay and confuse their enemies. Now this one I did not really understand this one, but I realized that with most of these guys' skills, they can either stun, pin down, or shock you, basically preventing you from moving anywhere. And then those are our tanks: a protector, crusader, and enforcer. For our last category is all of our support characters. Now some of these are self-explanatory, but I'm still go through them. We have summoner, which have a 40% pierce. I shouldn't really show this, but they can summon stuff to take damage and do damage essentially. They're not really special in the case. That's their only ability, which is good for them only. And they have a 40% pierce chance. Well, a 40% pierce. Now for the next one is a healer, which we have, I think, my staff sage, and of course self-explanatory as well. Heal allies with some healers capable of reviving them, and 20% pierce. The last one will be leader, which right now I have my talented valor. A leader will have 7% pierce. Now a leader can do buffs and other stuff, just buffs. So if you have a for example a doctor or whatnot, you can definitely see the leadership on him too. And that's really it for the new classes. Let me know if I really explained that correctly or not, or if I could have done it better. But I think it's really good. Now with the classes, they are not here for show. I'm being extremely honest. Because, for example, the tanks have the lowest amount of pierce, but the highest amount of defense. And same thing is similar to the melee. They have an average amount of pierce, but a lower amount of defense because they can't take that much damage. So you gotta be real careful with that. So just be on the lookout. Look out more builds. I will be doing build videos to try to assist better with this as well. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the next session. Now this next session will be just an overall information section. Thank you.